The American auto industry was rocked in September 2025 by a federal raid at a Georgia construction site, meant to be a symbol of U.S. manufacturing resurgence. Instead of a celebration, the event became a showcase of President Trump's hardline immigration enforcement, clashing with his push for foreign investment and high-tech jobs. The target: a state-of-the-art electric vehicle battery plant, a joint venture between Hyundai and LG. The raid exposed a deep contradiction, courting foreign companies to invest billions, while cracking down on the very foreign workers needed to build these projects. Images of South Korean workers detained in Georgia sparked outrage in Seoul and sent shockwaves through global boardrooms. Construction halted, timelines unraveled, and trust between Hyundai and the U.S. government was shattered. The incident raised a critical question: can America expect foreign investment while closing its doors to foreign expertise? The answer could shape the future of U.S. manufacturing and its role in the global EV race. The raid wasn't just enforcement, it was a gamble with American jobs and economic security. The raid unfolded with military precision. Hundreds of ICE agents descended on the Hyundai LG battery plant, halting work and detaining nearly 500 workers. Most of those arrested were South Korean technicians and supervisors, many in the U.S. under the ESTA visa waiver, a common but legally gray practice for specialized projects. ICE claimed the operation protected American jobs and ensured fair competition, signaling a new era of aggressive worksite enforcement. Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, warned more raids were coming, targeting both foreign and domestic companies. The aftermath was chaotic. South Korea scrambled to assist its citizens, while labor unions highlighted the use of lower-paid, temporary workers. The raid exposed the murky intersection of immigration law and global business, where companies rely on international expertise to meet tight deadlines. The message was clear: the Trump administration would challenge these practices, regardless of economic or diplomatic fallout. The legal limbo for workers and the disruption to the project underscored the risks of this new enforcement strategy. The Georgia raid became a warning to all foreign investors. The rules had changed. The Georgia raid laid bare the conflict at the heart of Trump's America First agenda, demanding foreign investment while cracking down on immigration. The Hyundai LG plant was a showcase of U.S. industrial policy, but the raid showed enforcement could override economic goals at any moment. Even as the administration negotiated a massive new trade deal with South Korea, ICE was detaining the very workers needed to deliver on those investments. Trump's public response was mixed, insisting on strong ties with Korea, but hinting at future visa reforms for specialized workers. The damage, however, was done. The raid sent a message that political priorities could trump business logic. The contradiction left foreign investors wary. Could they trust the U.S. to be a stable partner? The administration's tough stance on immigration risked undermining its own economic ambitions. The fallout from Georgia became a case study in policy collision. In South Korea, the raid was seen as a national insult, not just a business dispute. Images of detained workers triggered outrage, prompting major conglomerates to halt travel and freeze projects at over 20 sites across the U.S. Billions in investments were suddenly on hold, as companies reconsidered America's reliability as a business partner. A post-raid survey showed most major Korean firms were rethinking their U.S. plans, with some eyeing alternative markets in Europe or Latin America. The incident damaged America's reputation as a safe haven for foreign capital. LG Energy Solution delayed production at the Georgia plant, disrupting EV supply chains and local job creation. The reaction was calculated. If workers aren't safe, neither are investments. The U.S. was now seen as a land of both opportunity and risk. The raid's impact rippled through boardrooms and supply chains, threatening America's industrial revival. The message to global investors: political volatility could upend even the best-laid plans. For Hyundai, the raid created a crisis, balancing decades of U.S. investment with new political risks. The company distanced itself from the detained workers, noting they were contractors, not direct employees, but the distinction did little to ease tensions. Hyundai's strategy to produce most of its U.S. vehicles locally was suddenly in jeopardy. The raid forced a reassessment. Should Hyundai scale back its $26 billion investment, risking financial loss and political backlash, or press on amid uncertainty? The company's Made in America plan, meant to shield against tariffs and supply shocks, now faced a new threat: political unpredictability. No official changes have been announced, but Hyundai is clearly weighing its options. The stakes are high. Pulling back could hurt both Hyundai and the US economy, but moving forward without assurances is a gamble. The automaker is caught between opportunity and risk, hostage to shifting US policies. The future of Hyundai's American expansion hangs in the balance. The human toll was immediate. Hundreds of skilled workers detained, their futures uncertain. American workers at the site lost jobs overnight as construction halted, undermining the project's promise of local employment. The timing was grim. US job growth was already slowing, and stricter immigration enforcement was blamed for shrinking the labor pool. The raid became a flashpoint in the debate over immigration's role in economic growth. Labor unions in both countries condemned the use of low-paid, temporary workers, framing the issue as both immigration and labor rights. The disruption delayed the plant's opening, postponing thousands of permanent jobs for Georgians. If foreign companies pull back, the ripple effect could hurt suppliers and local businesses nationwide. The raid, meant to protect American jobs, may end up destroying them by scaring off investment. The lesson economic security and immigration policy are deeply intertwined. The Georgia raid strained the US-South Korea alliance, a pillar of American strategy in Asia. In Seoul, the incident was seen as a political slight, forcing the government to balance public outrage with diplomatic caution. Trump's dismissive comments did little to ease tensions, fueling skepticism about America's reliability as a partner. The raid undermined trust, making allies and investors question whether US commitments could be counted on. The fallout complicated high-stakes trade talks, with tariffs and investment demands now entangled in diplomatic friction. If America treats key allies this way, others may think twice before investing. The episode eroded the trust that underpins global business and diplomacy. The alliance and America's global standing now face new uncertainty. America faces a crossroads. Can it revive manufacturing while restricting the foreign talent and investment it needs? The Georgia raid exposed the risks: fewer factories, fewer jobs, and a weaker position in the global EV race if foreign firms pull back. Delays in EV production and supply chains could leave the US more dependent on imports, undermining America First goals. Tariff threats add to the uncertainty, raising costs for consumers and businesses alike. The challenge is clear: enforce immigration laws without driving away the partners essential for economic growth. Treating all foreign workers as threats risks immense collateral damage. The Trump administration, and the nation, must find a balance between security and openness. The future of American manufacturing may depend on it.